explosive. Man-to-man defense out of UConn.
And a foul against UConn to start the game at the baseline. Page was trying to get the corner, and he was fouled by Brown.
Page has got to really put some points on the board. He's been up and down in terms of scoring, can be explosive. He was the MVP in winning the tournament one year for Pittsburgh.
Page off a pump fake, comes down the baseline. Defensive help, misses the game's first shot. Tracked down by UConn. Gordon's got it, and they put the ball in the hands of Talik Brown out of the Queens.
Outstanding point guard, distributes the ball really well.
Got a field goal here to start the game.
Take a look right here, a little field goal, a little kick. As it goes. 3, baby, 3. This is the biggest sporting event since 2002 in Pittsburgh when they played the Patriots.
Gordon under pressure from Page fires an air ball.
Everybody said that Steelers-Patriots game was the last big game here in the city. There's a frenzy in town.
Bill Cowher, the Steeler coach, is here watching too as Troutman misfires, put back with big time help that time by freshman Chris Taft out of Brooklyn.
He's one of the best diaper dandies in America. He had 16 points, 15 rebounds in their most recent game against Seton Hall. Very active from out of New York City.
Nailing it, Denham Brown out of Canada at the other end, and a technical foul has been called. Jimmy Calhoun is up now, wants an explanation.
I do too. I didn't see what's the reason for the team. Denham Brown, by the way, who got that deuce, has been quiet lately, and he had 20 in the match when they...
Calhoun has to be restrained over here.
Relax, it's early, Jimmy, it's early. Got a lot of basketball to play.
He wanted an explanation, and Higgins will stay back by the baseline while Krauser shoots this free throw. The official called it clear over here in front of us, Dick. Yeah, right. Looking over at that sideline, unless he thought Calhoun was out of the coach's box. I have no other explanation. I did not see a thing, but it is on Jim Calhoun, and that's the only thing I can account for over here.
I didn't see it either. I saw the jump shot going down by Brown on that wing.
Now he's with the head man Higgins here. Krauser making the throws. Just a little more flavor added to this rivalry. A tee posted early. Calhoun is staring at the other official. Now he's looking back at the third man. It was called clear across court. Now Page from the right baseline corner nails it.
They need him to have a big game. Outstanding defensive player. He'll be matched up on Gordon. Very athletic, Brent. He can go on a streak and knock some shots down. Gonna watch him come off the screen on that baseline. Step back. The left-hander, veteran player, was MVP when they won the Big East tournament.
Talik gets it to the big fella. Misfiring. One and out. Pittsburgh pounding away.
Pittsburgh beat them at their own game, up and down the floor. I think they shocked them the way they got it up and down the court.
Tap back, no, and again it's Pitt coming off, and the foul is going to be called. Tim Higgins, before they could break out, I believe it's on Troutman, and that's his first personal.
Look at the diaper dandy smiling. Jamie Dixon stepped in for Ben Holland. What a job he's done as a rookie coach. Look at him in transition. There's a transition game, up on the wing, the layup, the quick layup.
Boone moves into the free throw line. This is the one Achilles heel as far as UConn is concerned. They do not shoot good free throws. In fact, they're dead last in the Big East. But I asked Jim Calhoun before the game, I said, Jim, you've lost 4 times. How many times did free throws cost you
0.
the W? He said 0.
Yeah, 0.
He went through all 4 games.
Yeah. However, it'll be an Achilles heel in a tournament.
That's
tournament
exactly
where every
right.
point is gold. You better make free throws, and he knows that. Jim shared that with me before the game. Brent, to put it mildly, they're shooting under 60% as a team on a free throw line.
Our explanation from across the way is just generally complaining to the officials cost Calhoun that technical. If so, that official was looking for trouble early, folks. Krauser comes in. And now UConn comes back.
Got to get back defensively in transition against Connecticut. One of the most explosive running games in college basketball.
Foul underneath against UConn. Over the top.
I think the official wanted to send a message loud and clear to Mr. Calhoun. I am in control today, and I am not going to tolerate it. But I think it's premeditated,
Absolutely.
Like you said.
There's no question. You don't call it clear over here in front of me across court as quickly as that one was called.
They really execute well in their half-court game.
Here's Page, jump pass inside. Taft turns baseline, won't fall down. Boone off.
He's become a big-time player on the interior. Taft from out of Xaverian High School in New York.
In low to Okafor. And one.
They try to double up on him when he gets the ball inside. Troutman plays him, who's very strong physically, and then they bring Taft over.
Dick, is Taft the freshman of the year in the Big East?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it. You ask Jimmy Boeheim, he'd say he's the freshman of the year nationally. Even though there's been a lot of good diaper dandies, Mustafa Shakur down there in Arizona. You certainly think about Lawal Dangle we saw from out of Duke.
Dick, that's the second foul on Troutman, so he will take a seat here in the early going and be replaced by Mark McCarroll, also out of the Queens, New York. And I see that another freshman, Charlie Villanueva, is seated there in front of the timer. He'll be checking in for UConn here soon. So Troutman, a fine defensive presence out of the game early. Pitt leads at 9-6 at the 16:45 mark.
And that's a big loss because he's also effective on the inside. Shoots better than 66% on the interior. That's a big loss, Troutman.
The feed to Taft, and good defense by Boone and Okafor underneath.
Too unselfish right there. It's okay to be unselfish, but they had an easy opportunity and made one extra pass.
Emotions running high. This one of those great rivalries. Okafor takes a seat on the UConn bench, and Villanueva checks in with Pitt leading UConn 9-6.
It's really interesting if you chart the number of fast break opportunities out of Connecticut. They really minimize the times Connecticut can run up and down the floor. Nice pass.
Nice pass.
Charge.
There's a call goes against UConn. They're pointing in the other direction.
Nice penetration down the lane. Defense rotates over, and there's the charge before he scores the basket. You're going to like Villanueva. I mean, he's long and lean. He's very active. He just has to get physically stronger and stay in school for another year.
I make Calhoun no more than even money to see the end of this game right now. He's the same official who called the technical, had that foul, and Jimmy was glaring at him again. Now Brown comes baseline, in with the big trees, traveling, goes to UConn.
He lifted his pivot foot. He's one of the steady players for Pittsburgh. Jerron Brown doesn't get a lot of notoriety and publicity. Signed originally to Rick Pitino in Kentucky. When Pitino left, he decided to go elsewhere.
Strange to see Ben Gordon without the face mask after breaking the nose. Of course, he was wearing that. He felt he did not shoot as well. The stats back it up. Villanueva misses. Boone's back. No. Tapped away by Pitt.
Boone is very physical. They need him on the inside because physicality is the strength of this Pittsburgh team. What a job they have done. Ben Holland deserves a lot of credit as the architect now at UCLA. People better beat him now because in another year or so, UCLA will be back on top.
Right baseline jumper, yes. So McCarroll off the bench, hits his first field goal, and all-star team.
Oh, and I couldn't believe he didn't make the all-star team. He's the best high school player, as I wrote in my book, Brent, that I've seen in my 25 years on ESPN. Carmelo's not too bad either.
He's pretty good. They were great in their rookie against the sophomores the other night. Here Page misses for Pittsburgh. Offensive rebound, Taft. And gives it up.
Again, they get back very quickly on defense. They don't allow Connecticut to get that transition game going. Anderson, a very key player here. Had 20 in the first matchup and has really been quiet the last 6 games.
Gordon being well defended. Boone tries to track it down. The Pittsburgh defense impressive here in the early going. They've held UConn to 6 points. And you can see that their fast break average, and they have been unable to get that going. Pittsburgh is lethal coming back on defense.
The 3 best fast breaks in college basketball. You saw one in Arizona, North Carolina, and Connecticut. You must make them play 5-on-5.
And Taft yanks it down with Okafor back on the floor for UConn.
Taft's got some body and size. Not a good shot.
Fired an air ball off.
That's not part of their offensive
transition off to the left. They could have eaten a little time up right there. 14-16 now. 11-6 Pitt over UConn.
He's certainly a different kind of player than Brandon Knight was, a defensive stopper, a guy that got him in the offense. Krauser's more a guy that's going to create and innovate. Little 2-man game. Villanueva with the screen.
You can see him hound the ball out on top. Entry pass. They double team it so quickly. They rotate very well. Very well coached defensive unit. Great matchup. Page and Gordon on the outside on the perimeter. Page athletically very quick. Checking Gordon, an explosive offensive player. Taft picks up the personal. I don't think he knows how good he can be. He is going to be special, Mr. Taft. You should hear Jimmy Boeheim rave about it. We'll take a seat, though, for right now. And Morris, fellow built like a tight end. Torrey Morris out of Oliver Springs, Tennessee. Pittsburgh, about 300 pounds, checks in now. Misfiring, but Okafor is there. So after they make the substitution, Okafor with an easy putback off an offensive rebound, and it's suddenly 11-8. Now go back to that misfiring on that 3 when Pitt could have run a better set down here. Yeah, really not a good shot. Got him up. Got the ball up too quickly. They want more patience on the offensive end. Now it's UConn tightening up. It's UConn zoning right now. Collapsing on the inside. You can't get the ball into Morris. Krauser tries dribble penetration, couldn't get there, so Page fires a 3. He likes the big moment. He likes the spotlight, Red. He's one of those kids that rises. The bigger the game, the better he plays. Okafor goes right baseline. This is what Krauser excels. But no daylight. Good job by Connecticut getting back defensively. He's a New York City kid. He's played on the pavement, so he understands how to get into the 3-second area with that dribble penetration. Off the dribble, short on the shot. And against Pittsburgh. Let's go back to that 3 by Page, Dick. Julius Page has the kick out by Krauser. That was created by the penetration by Krauser. He just steps back, lets it fly. A little rainbow mode 3, and has Okafor on the inside, trying to get inside position. Uses the left hand really well. He was never an offensive player in his first year. He got better and better, Okafor, and now has become such a threat, averaging 19 a game, 11 rebounds a game, and the best shot blocker in America. There's Gordon under pressure. Fired the 3, a tough 3. How's this, Brent? Jim Calhoun said he's too unselfish. They want him to shoot a lot more. He averages about 13 shots a game. They'd like to see him shoot at about 20. He's shooting 46% from the trifecta. Ball out of bounds. Came out of Mount Vernon, New York, where they produced so many great players. Remember the McRae brothers down in Louisville? Earl Tatum, who went down to Marquette, all out of that area in Mount Vernon. Antonio Graves, the freshman, now running things. He took the last shot in that game against Seton Hall. Had some time on the clock. He took the last one against UConn, too, Dick. Yes, he did. A 3. Now McCarroll steps out. The big fella, he nails the 3 ball. Wow. He has been able to do that all year coming off the bench. Had a little knee problem. Very active perimeter. Big guy who can play inside and out. Okafor. Maneuvering down low, misfiring, 1 and out. What traffic he draws when he touches the rock inside. What a great environment. This place is so special. Love these kind of college basketball environments. Oklahoma State's got one down there. You should see that place. Gallagher-Iber. Yeah, this has a chance to be special. This team keeps it up, and this is going to be one of the great arenas in the college game. Page on a crossover is picked up by Okafor. Further show with the call in the lane. Chip not happy with that call. So after the whistle, the second personal foul has been called on him as a result of that. 17-11 as McCarroll, the big fella, out with the 3 ball.
Okay, so we've picked out the TV, the surround sound, and the direct TV.
3 years, but Syracuse won the national championship. They got the big trophy. I have felt the last few years that the Big East has not gotten the respect it deserves as they bring the ball inside to Mr. McCarroll. He's been a factor off the bench for Troutman. I thought last year they should have had 6 teams, and they definitely should get 6 this year in the NCAA tournament.
Gordon at the perimeter misses that 3. And Krauser comes down with it. UConn's back defensively. He's going to try to attack. And a putback on the follow by Mark McCarroll, who is showing us an outside-inside game.
He's becoming the star of stars here early in this game. McCarroll off the bench. He's knocked down to 3. You know, they have done a great job taking away the Connecticut fast break. And here is Pittsburgh in transition. That's what Krauser does so well. Attack the basket, and there's McCarroll with the offensive rebound. And there's the jam inside on a set play from the baseline.
Dick, you were talking about McCarroll. He's perfect from the floor, 4 of 4. He has 9 points off the coach's bench.
What a great job replacing Troutman. Guy responsible for a lot of these New York players is Barry Roarson, outstanding assistant coach for Pittsburgh.
And McCarroll led Christ the King High School to the state finals when he was a senior in a national ranking, so he certainly was not an unknown. Played for Team New York in one of those all-star classics.
There's Barry Roarson, an outstanding second lieutenant, guy that really would do a great job of getting a head coaching position.
Misfired that time, however. Loose ball tracked down by UConn. Gordon coming all the way. Drew the foul. He'll be on the free throw line.
You know, it's impressive that Connecticut beat Pittsburgh at their own game when they beat them up in Connecticut. They beat them 68-65. Normally, if they keep the game in the 60s, Pittsburgh's going to the winner's circle. As you look at Jamie Dixon trying to get to the Final Four in his first year this year. Guys that did that were Ray Myra at DePaul. Denny Crum did it his first year. Larry Brown did it his first year. What about Steve Fisher? He did it his first year. Bill Guthridge did it his first year. You became a star in your first year. What about your alma mater? They're on a roll, Northwestern.
Yeah, beat Penn State last night, Dick. And,
wow. Well, they got wins over Wisconsin, road wins over Iowa, over Purdue. Phil Carmody doing a heck of a job down there at Northwestern.
You know, our great friend, the late Jimmy Valvano, always said you could win basketball games at Northwestern, that you could get the job done in that Chicago area. There's so much talent. As Gordon makes the free throw here, and it's Pittsburgh out, enjoying a 7-point lead early on.
They tried to go to full court pressure to try to speed up the tempo of the game. Jim Calhoun, a master on a sideline. Certainly going to be ultimately a Hall of Famer. He and Jimmy Boeheim are definitely guys heading for the Hall of Fame.
Dick, when you look at this Pittsburgh team, what impresses me, not how tall, but how wide they are. I mean, there are some big, well-developed bodies on this basketball team.
And what impresses me is their chemistry, the camaraderie. They play so well together as a unit. They really are so unselfish.
Krauser stayed with it. Well done.
That's what he does really well. Get into the 3-second area.
Okafor runs the floor. That's why he will be perhaps the first player drafted by the NBA with athletic ability like that. Wow.
Yeah, they just got out in transition. That's what Jim Calhoun does really well. That's how the Celtics used to run years ago with Red Auerbach right after a score.
Nice pass. Gray was in too low, and he stuck with it. So Pittsburgh showing some patience in the paint there.
Gray with a big wide body, strong inside player. This place is loud and alive, baby, down here in Pittsburgh. They haven't had much to cheer about with the Steelers, the Pirates, but the Pitt Panthers have given them a lot in hoops, baby.
It's a Big East showdown presented by Cialis. UConn trying to come from behind. And shots like that will help them out a great deal as Talik Brown, another one of the New Yorkers, puts it down.
New York City guy came in, highly rated, like Andre Barrett is doing a great job at Seton Hall. Also came in with Omar Cook. The 3 of them came in. Cook has become a basketball vagabond leaving St. John.
CS rankings, to tell you all the truth, they've got to measure the difference between home games and road games. Who are we kidding in basketball, folks?
You got to use the VBDI, the
That's it.
Five-Out Wall Dome Index.
Okafor.
A lot of patience by Connecticut. They got to get some shots for Gordon.
Boone backing in. Not to be against this tough Pitt D.
They really combine really well. They unite on the inside and really give help to one another.
7:57 left in the opening half.
Game.
Here's Talik out on top for Coach Calhoun.
He's not a long-range shooter, Brad. He'd like to get his buddy Ben Gordon free for some shots. But they're really right in his face, playing him tough.
They're putting size and McCarroll on him right now, and a tough man-to-man using a taller man on him, Dick.
Yeah, they're playing McCarroll head-to-head with him. Now here comes Page on him.
Page jumps out on the three, got there in time. Loose picked up. Krauser, tough hombre, number 11 is for Pitt. Now, you know, the score was tied, Dick, at 2 at the 18:42 mark when the technical was called. Pitt went off to score the next 7 points after that technical on Coach Calhoun. That's the margin we've got in this game.
I thought that technical could have been really forgotten about. There's no way that technical should have been called.
Partially blocked, UConn basketball. And Gordon runs into the defense. It gets back so quickly here for Pittsburgh.
That's a real test for Connecticut in terms of when you talk NCAA tournament. A lot of games become 5-on-5, and you got to execute in your half-court game. They've only had 6 close games all year. They've been blowing people away.
Well, if they're going to win this one, it has the earmarks of being a close battle, and Coach Calhoun knows it. Of course, the one weakness that UConn fans probably don't like to be reminded about is they do not shoot good free throws. Talik Brown, for a point guard, has struggled, and this is something that they're going to have to solve before March. And when you're on the road trying to come from behind, each of these points becomes so big that they're leaving on the table.
And they're so big at tournament time. That's why it was so good when they cut the nets down in '99 with Richard Hamilton and company. Those guys were automatic when you talk about Hamilton.
That's first foul on McCarroll. He leaves with 9 points to take a seat, to put back and another foul again. And, of course, here comes somebody else. I guess the only weakness in Okafor's game has been on the free throw line.
And they go 0 for 2 in that sequence. Okafor comes up with the great offensive rebound. And now gets fouled, and he's got to go to the line.
I asked Coach Calhoun if he and the assistants do anything special with him at the free throw line, and no. And like most coaches, they say, you know, at the line, it tends to be mental. He said that Okafor, Jim told us that when Okafor practices, he'll run off 16 of 20 and then come in the game and starts to miss them. And here they've missed 3 consecutive free throws.
And they work in practice on certain situations where they make you shoot free throws under pressure. They got great coaches there who can teach. Certainly in Clyde Vaughn, who played here at Pittsburgh, and also George Blaney was an NBA player, former head coach at Holy Cross, Seton Hall.
Dick, they are now 3 of 9 in a tough game on the road. 3 of 9, but in both instances, they've come back with an offensive rebound after the second miss, giving themselves an opportunity to salvage at least something here if they can convert.
Even a dummy and I could figure out 3 for 9 is 33%.
Juggle, defense getting a hand on the ball, knocking it out of bounds, 5 on the shot.
They really react to the basketball so well, the Pittsburgh defense. I shook at that coaching staff. Connecticut shooting here. The Big East, take a look right here. Free throws last. Field goals first. 50% as a team. And look at three-point shooting, 40%. That's because of Gordon's ability. Brown and Anderson as well.
That Pitt defense eats up the seconds, don't they? Okafor's got to give it back. It'll go over to Pitt on the line.
They've had 3 opportunities in that situation and came up empty. Jim's certainly not happy with that. What a competitor and a fighter. Every game is like the biggest game to him. Survivor of prostate cancer along with Jimmy Boeheim. Just winners, just absolute winners.
We haven't had a point here in the last two and a half minutes.
Sloppy basketball right now.
But that's the kind of game that Pittsburgh wants in. Down, dirty, and ugly, and make defense the difference.
Exactly. Well said, partner. That's why you're a superstar. I knew you'd handle it like that.
You carried me through this, lad. Yuri Demetrius out of Pittsburgh, a junior guard, is checked in for Pitt.
They're right up in your face on every shot. They challenge you on every shot.
Under pressure that time,
yes,
and misfiring again. Now let's see what Krauser can come up with.
Had a wide open shot, took the extra dribble.
Foul on the inside on that penetrating move by Troutman. That I remember he picked up a couple of quick early fouls in this game. Boone assessed the personal.
Last 2 years, Pittsburgh went to the Sweet 16, got eliminated 2 years ago by a surprising Kent State team that played brilliantly. And then last year got beat by Marquette. Dwayne Wade put a show on. He's going to be a heck of an NBA player. Come out of Marquette.
Yeah, he's off to a good start, isn't he, Dick? Krauser, 5.5 minutes.
This pace of this game definitely favors Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
The pace, the tempo.
And there's a 5-second violation. Okafor forces the turnover from the freshman. And now we've gone 3 full minutes without a single point being scored in this game. And Pitt still hangs on to that 7-point lead over UConn.
Pittsburgh out-rebounding its opponents by almost 7 a game, showing their physicality on the inside. There's a double up as soon as he gets the ball.
Okafor wrap around, so that ends that scoreless streak.
He eliminated the double team by going to the baseline. Made a great offensive move there. If he whirls to the middle, they got him doubled up and take away that layup. But he goes to the baseline with that great first step.
8 points for Emeka Okafor. Krauser on a run. Knocked back, though, to Pitt. UConn was clearing it out of there, but they knocked the ball to Pitt. And a foul called on the drive. Let's take a look at Okafor and let Dick point out exactly what he's talking about, how he got rid of the double team.
Freeze it right here. Freeze it. If he comes this way, he's going to get doubled up, but he goes to the baseline, and he gets the lane to the goal. Drop steps that foot inside, can't give help, uses the reverse layup. Okafor, one of my All-Americans, along with Andre Emmett, Ryan Gomes. I love Luke Jackson from Oregon, and Jameer Nelson, pound for pound, inch for inch. He'll be the best this year. I would be shocked if he's not player of the year from out of St. Joseph's.
Do you like him over Okafor as player of the year, Dick?
You know why? Because Okafor started slowly, had back spasms. Nelson's been a star from game 1 at the Garden when they beat Gonzaga, and a very good Gonzaga team, who I still think is one of my clubs to go to the Final Four.
You know, Hernandez deserves some consideration from Stanford as an All-American guard this year.
Playing really well, Hernandez. He and Lonica as a backcourt. That was a great win yesterday on the road at Haas Pavilion, beating California when they had such an emotional day, retiring the jersey of Jason Kidd.
The lead is 7 again.
I think Pittsburgh wears on you psychologically as well. I think you think about their physical toughness and you don't get into your rhythm. They don't let you get any offensive fluidness.
His first foul, but they certainly do not mind putting Okafor on the free throw line, and he's going to face that until he overcomes that particular problem. And if he doesn't believe me, he can just ask Shaq Diesel about that. And Tim Duncan, which really baffles me. Now that was beautiful rhythm, nice shot.
Well, why don't you go out there and coach him? Come on, go out there and coach him.
You know, it is mental. You know, it is mental. You're a good free throw shooter.
Not bad for 64, one-eyed and bald.
I don't know what bald has to do with it.
You didn't read Steve Russian's column in Sports Illustrated about baldness.
No, I say I didn't.
Read it this week. Funny as hell.
Brown yo-yos it for Pitt.
Notice how patient they are with each possession. Just take time off that clock, try to lull you to sleep, and then pound it inside or kick it back out.
Krauser on the run, tough shot, and banked it home.
He's a one-on-one player, Brent. He's an old-school one-on-oneer, New York City style. They got one there now in New York in high school, Sebastian Telfair, who all word seems to be that he won't go to Louisville. He will go to the NBA draft if he's a lottery selection. Watch this guy break you down off the dribble. Here he is breaking you down, a little shake and bake, and then the running one-hander. He shot that a la Bob Cousy years ago with the running one-hander with the knee up in the air. One of my favorites of all time, Mr. Cousy.
Okafor now 1 of 6 at the free throw line.
Mentioning Cousy, one of my favorites in the house tonight, former Duke All-American Dick Vroke, former baseball superstar doing the radio.
Done it for years here at Pittsburgh.
He and Bill Hillgrove do a great job, 25 years. MVP in 1960 for the Pirates when they won that title. There he is, Dick Bro.
His buddy Bill Mazeroski hit that now famous home run against the New York Yankees. And here, Jim Calhoun and UConn against Jamie Dixon and Pittsburgh.
As you said earlier.
I think it was about $700 somebody was asking for a single.
Can you afford it?
Outside.
I can't.
No, I didn't have enough. Mel Blount. Speaking of defense and speaking of the Steelers, Mel Blount, was he one of the wheel horses of that great run in the 70s? Man, haven't seen him in a while.
Bring everybody out. That's what winning does to you. It becomes contagious.
Here comes Brown. Into Okafor's hands. So if Okafor can solve the mysteries at the free throw line, UConn can come charging back in this, because we know what he can do down on that low block, and Pitt keeps him off his favorite spot. And they just picked him up with a body and just eased him on out.
And Pitt also does the great job of getting back and doesn't allow the running game.
Now Gordon, awkward, off the glass, throws it down.
That's an offensive star right there. He really excels if the game is up and down the floor, utilizing the 94 feet. Nothing is going to come easy for Mr. Gordon this afternoon.
Now, we've raved about the Pitt defense, but I don't want to overlook what's going on at the other end, because UConn's playing some defense of their own here, folks. Krauser can't find daylight.
Well, Connecticut very tough on the defensive end. Give a lot of help to one another, close off angles.
Morris being doubled up, puts it down, turns it over, bounce pass, Boone runs the floor, knocked out of bounds.
Another situation where they took away the running game after the steal. I'm just amazed the way Pittsburgh can shut down a running game. People don't realize so many times tempo is the key to winning and losing in a basketball game. Taking away somebody's strength.
Inside. Goes the other way.
Good call. He definitely walked. He lifted his pivot foot. He also made a mistake bringing the ball down to his hip. Watch the ball. He brings it down. So right now he makes himself 5'10" instead of 6'11".
UConn sitting on a 24 with 2 minutes to go. Dick, we're reminded that their season low in the first half was 28 against Yale. So Brown scores and makes it a 7-point margin again.
Nice play by Brown, one of the most underrated players in the Big East.
Left hand from Okafor.
Utilize either hand. Has the same kind of mental attitude as Tim Duncan, who stayed 4 years at Wake Forest and now has become one of the dominant forces in the NBA.
Pitt is doing an outstanding job of taking Gordon out of the attack.
They really have. They've neutralized his great ability.
Ball was hit, so it's not traveling. Page is 3.
Likes the big moment, likes the TV camera, and responds. Here's Page, MVP when they beat Connecticut for the Big East tournament title last year. 2 years ago, they got beat by Connecticut for the title in the Big East.
Knocked away by Morris. Back to Okafor's left hand. No tap. Boone, no tap again. Yes.
Hanging around the basket. Great size in there with Villanueva, Boone, and Okafor. Jamie Dixon, diaper dandy coach and assistant to Ben Holland. Players really petition to get him the job. You know who had the job and turned it down? Skip Prosser of Wake Forest. Pittsburgh guy would have been a great choice as well.
Jamie then would have gone to UCLA as an assistant, I assume, unless he'd have gotten another head coaching job. Here comes Page now, and it's blocked. Villanueva got a hand on it.
This is where Connecticut usually excels after a steal.
Open floor, and there's your diaper dandy. No, wave it off. Offensive foul on Villanueva.
You can just tell in transition what a player he's going to be. His agility and mobility, even though he charged right there. Now here's Connecticut at their best when they're running. But look at the defense. They come right back. He's set. There's the charge. Good call.
Coming up now on the TGI Fridays halftime report, and John and Digger will bring you highlights. Cincinnati, speaking of Wake Forest, they're playing Cincy, tough one. Kansas, Nebraska, and we'll have an update on the undefeated. Speaking of the undefeated, Dick, St. Joe's, do they really deserve a #1 seed? Have they been playing that kind of competition that's worthy of that?
They really deserve it. They've beaten everybody in their way, Brent. People can't play if they played in this conference, if they did this. Bottom line is everybody in front of them, whoever's been placed there, they have won. Phil Martelli's done a marvelous job with the best backcourt in basketball. You would love Nelson and West.
Shot clock has been turned off. Final 10 seconds. They put the ball in Krauser's hands like they normally do. He'll try to penetrate. Gets inside. McCarroll, who has been the star of the first half.
He has, Brad. He's been a PT Peer. McCarroll's been such a valuable guy coming off the bench for Jamie Dixon, the diaper dandy. Look at the Oakland zone.
11 points from McCarroll off the bench. They lead at 36. 1990, just one of the great programs when he moved to Connecticut from Northeastern. That team was down. I don't have to tell all you great fans back in the state of Connecticut what Jim Calhoun has meant to that program. And here we are now in the second half. Dick, we'll see if Pittsburgh can hold on against UConn.
Wow. There's that man-to-man defense.
Penetrating move. Short with their first shot, and it is 1 and out. So Okafor being kept off the offensive glass as the rebound being pulled down by Brown. And now it's Pittsburgh's first set.
Man-to-man defense right there by Connecticut. They're really in a battle here. They got to try to get this game a little quicker.
Traveling.
Now, Brent, before we go any further, I got to thank Mike Soltis, Executive Vice President of ESPN, and all the people in ESPN that promoted my name for the nomination as a contributor, and to all the coaches that wrote on my behalf. I simply say thank you.
Well, you're very deserving, my friend. A game of passion for Mr. Vitale, and that's what this second half is going to be right here. Is on the weave. Brown rolls in.
They got to get him involved. He had 20 in that first matchup and was so effective. He's been in a real shooting slump. Look at the bench trying to get him into it. They got to make something happen with their defense. But yet Pittsburgh doesn't allow that to happen. They're always under control. They're poised. Very poised team. A lot of experience, winning experience as well.
Back outside the top, and he traveled. So it's two times they turned it over down here.
The big question I had about Pittsburgh coming into the season was not so much Jamie Dixon, who knew the system, but I was wondering about the point guard play because Knight was so effective running their attack.
Offensive foul, and Calhoun is still upset.
We have not seen the real Connecticut team here yet. They're hanging around, only 6 down, Brent. They're hanging in the game as the drive along the baseline.
Jimmy has one technical early in this game.
I thought uncalled for. I really did. I thought you could have warned the guy not to quickly hit him the way they did. I thought it was premeditated to call on Calhoun.
Gordon picks up the personal. That's his second, and Calhoun was signaling just that number to the bench.
Tom Gordon right behind, Tom Moore rather right behind him is going to be an outstanding head coach eventually. They lull you to sleep. They really are so patient. They really just lull you to sleep. And then it bursts the speed.
Krauser, dangerous pass into traffic, tapped away. Gordon should control out of bounds, and it'll stay with Pittsburgh.
They can't get Ben Gordon any shots. That's really been a dilemma here as well. They can't get him free for any opportunities to utilize his great offensive ability. He's a lethal offensive player.
Calhoun's defense has forced 3 consecutive turnovers here so far. Now we'll see what Krauser can do.
Pick up the dribble. That's a no-no for you young kids. Nice fake.
The runner in the lane, that little floating shot, no good. Headman now is Gordon. Can he get it for the layup?
Oh, yes. That's Connecticut basketball. Run, baby, run. What a program at Connecticut. Men's and women's. Gino Auriemma doing a phenomenal job. You could have 2 national champs of the same men's and women's, the same school.
They average 17 fast break points a game, UConn does. Today, folks, that last basket by Gordon was only their 2nd fast break field goal of the afternoon. Timeout, Pittsburgh. Their lead's been whittled now to 4.
Connecticut just hanging around. What's keeping them in the game? They're playing solid on the defensive side as well, as you said earlier in the game. That's the one stabilizer they've had here today, playing defense. Things not coming easily to them offensively.
Taft bumping off Okafor. Off iron.
That shot right there, tough shot. This is where they like to get you in transition. That's where Brown excels.
The wraparound by Okafor, no good. Krauser comes out. He'll attack the other end with the pass to Troutman for the layup.
They score, but that's to their advantage. That's the
Back
Connecticut.
to Boone on the run.
Oh, yes.
There you are.
They would love them to go up and down. They'll give them that deuce and get us into a race. They will not beat them in an up-and-down game. Mr. Musburger, they will not beat them in run, baby, run. Take a look here. Connecticut kicks it out. I mean, Pittsburgh, they score. Now here comes UConn. Here come the Huskies doing what they do. Mr. Boone in transition.
Pulled away off the miss. Brown back to the deep three. Gordon, no. Long rebound.
Smart play right there by Page. Back it out. Don't want to go up and down.
Tap with a two-hand slam.
That's execution. Get it inside the tap. Came out of Xaverian High School where they produced the best shooter I ever seen until I see J.J. Redick, Chris Mullin.
Turned it over against Pitt. So Pittsburgh's defense continues to force the issue, and here in a Big East showdown against UConn, the team they lost to in Hartford. That was Pittsburgh's first defeat of the season. But here today, they have come home where they have won 39 consecutive in Pittsburgh, 33 in a row in their new Peterson Event Center. They hold the lead. The star of the first half, Mark McCarroll, back in the lineup. 11 first half points off the bench. Krauser stays with it, no. But underneath is Troutman.
They really do a great job on the glass. We didn't see Troutman get in foul trouble early in the game. Very physical player, very strong and very effective on the interior.
Knocked the ball out of bounds.
He's not eligible to be listed as one of the top field goal percentage shooters. Doesn't take enough attempts.
We've got a timeout. Pitt continues to lead it.
I know, no automatic outs. Sheffield's going to be great with that. Last 6 years, he's hit over 300. Rodriguez and Jeter on the same left side. I can't believe that infield.
And here, UConn down 8 with the basketball. Page, Gordon penetrates and then threw it out of bounds. Another turnover against this Pitt D.
And Gordon's got to try to find some shots. He's too good a shooter not to get opportunities. Jim not happy. Look at the brain trust on that sideline. Clyde Vaughan on that sideline is one of only 2 guys to score 2,000 points in his career here at Pittsburgh. Charles Smith is the other. He's a Connecticut kid. If Jim Calhoun was, believe me, at Pittsburgh, I mean at Connecticut, I think Charlie Smith would be here.
Now it's a Pitt turnover.
That's Clyde Vaughan. Take a look at him. The big guy was a big star here. Over 2,000 points in his career.
The crowd and the Pittsburgh bench certainly did not agree with that call, and UConn so far hasn't been able to take advantage. Boone this time does.
Boone scores on the interior. He's a good active player, a freshman. He and Villanueva could be really the strength next year on an inside. Going to try to go to some pressure, speed up tempo.
Lead is 6 at the 15-minute mark. Okafor did not give way to that pump fake by Page, and now there's 10 on the shot for Krauser.
Gordon right up in Page's face as well. Krauser makes things happen. He's got to shake and bake in him.
You better make this happen with 2 on the shot. He kept the dribble too long.
The only positive there, ran out the clock. Took off some time. He wanted a foul call. Look at Jamie Dixon. Talk to Curtis Shaw. He said that Jim Calhoun pointed at him. And when he called the technical, there he is trying to...
Inside Okafor now, and they make him pay again as he lays it in. And now it's a 4-point margin.
Starting to bang the ball inside, finding gaps into the interior. Connecticut executing a lot better in a half-court set. Their defense has kept them right in the game. 39 in a row here on this board. Tied with Duke for the longest winning streaks at home.
Krauser's got that shot clock down to 10 again. Is he going to keep it and dribble it out? There's the same screen. Troutman. Krauser picked up. Keeps coming. Blocked Okafor. Brown rattles through the 3-ball at the buzzer.
That's a good one. done a great job defensively in transition.
Coming again, Krauser penetrates, but the foul, no basket, waved off. No basket.
What a big three. What a big trifecta, Mr. Musburger. They were a little bit on the ropes. Their momentum was going away, the Huskies. That was a major three.
That was the key moment of the game because the shot clock, well, it did expire with the ball in the air on that three ball over there that time. That would have been back-to-back when it fell through for Pitt. And the lead is back to 7 again. Page now comes left baseline. Air ball knocked out of bounds.
Did a great job in defensive transition as well. Pittsburgh getting back and deflecting that Brown. As you look at Dixon and fiery Has was an actor as a little kid. Was an actor. He's not an actor as a coach. These are guys a rookie year doing a great job. Ben Gordon has a hand in him all the time.
But he still drained a deep three that time, and now it's a 4-point game again with some token pressure in the backcourt, making Krauser work, getting seconds off the clock.
Malik Brown trying to play him head-to-head. They finally did a great job reversing the ball out to Gordon to get him a look, and he even had pressure on him on that shot.
Dixon calls timeout. He wants to talk to McCarroll about it. You could see him yanking him back into the huddle. He pulls the huddle out away from the crowd over there. It's a reminder that the time permitting will, and Pitt's going to have to find a way to shoot quicker like that after the timeout, and they didn't convert, and Boone's out with a rebound, and here comes UConn again.
Brown had an opportunity inside, but he made that big three. Now here comes that defense. They're starting to get the ball inside.
They can move to within 2. Okafor lost the handle.
He spun into the lane where they get help. He's got to go away from the lane.
Timeout has been called.
He's trying to spin into the 3-second area, and they get a lot of help in that area.
The possession arrow, the next one, will go to Pitt. Well, a reminder that next Sunday, the rookie star LeBron James will move to ABC for the first time. The Cavaliers go to the Garden, take on the New York Knicks. That's NBA Sunday, 1 week from today now at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
I'll tell you this, I bet nobody will get who's the third winningest streak in college basketball behind Pittsburgh and Duke, because I didn't know. I could tell you that. Stephen F. Austin has won 27 in a row, baby, and Wisconsin at 27 in a row as well. They don't beat Bo Ryan.
But then Wisconsin, you said, lost that game to Northwestern, right? So they.
Yeah, but that was at Northwestern.
Just the home streak is still going, right?
Yeah, Bo Ryan has done a great job going for his 3rd consecutive Big Ten title. Was one of the most underrated coaches in America. All he needed was an opportunity.
12:20 to go. Pitt with the ball and the 4-point lead.
Page and Gordon, what a matchup on the perimeter. 2 of the premier players in the Big East.
Brown drives the baseline, and a foul is called.
Brown starting to assert himself a little bit more offensively from that wing.
So Okafor.
Nothing like winning experience. Jim Calhoun coaching on every possession. That's why he's such a winner.
That's the 3rd foul on Emeka Okafor here with Brown on the free throw line. It was Brown who drained that 3 as the shot clock expired.
Conversion by Brown. Line. So great to know D. Rose in the house, former Connecticut coach. Jeff Jacobs did a great article on D. Rose in the Hartford Current. Just a terrific guy, battling some adversity right now, illness, and we wish D nothing but the best. A beautiful, beautiful human being, just a super guy.
Demetrius checks in for Pittsburgh. Brown hits the 2 free throws, and it's 47-41.
And those 2 left-handers, Brown and Page. Every time they get a little close, Pittsburgh comes up with a big play.
Comes Gordon.
Nice
Boone. Battle rebound, UConn.
Gordon is too unselfish. I mean, very rare you see a star with his offensive ability pass the ball as often and pass up shots.
Comes to Malik Brown, tries to get to the baseline, tap in, good by Boone.
Boone's going to be a good player. Boone, very big and strong, had a shoulder separation in a game against Syracuse when they pounded Syracuse. Hakeem Warwick has become a star, an All-American down there at Cuse.
Demetrius, but there was a foul. Is that Okafor? That would be number 4. Hold on now. A 3. Let me correct myself.
He had 3.
That's 3. And they've got great team chemistry, starting with the national anthem here in Pittsburgh.
Great camaraderie. They love one another. They like playing together. They're very unselfish. They pass the ball exceptionally well. They play as a unit defensively, offensively, always giving the ball up for a high percentage shot. And that's how you win, man. That's how you win. Oh, look at this here. Did you make that up? You must have made that sign up. You must have made that sign up, Brent. Come on now. I've been living a dream. I just hope the dream keeps going on.
Hilton Armstrong will get some minutes here from UConn as Gordon cleans up the miss. And so Okafor getting perhaps his last rest of the game. Remember, he has 3 personal fouls, so they will try young Armstrong down low. And a Brown missing, and a rebound gets away from Boone, who had a shot at it. Demetrius with the ball for Pitt.
Boone kept that ball out alive. Troutman's tough inside. Once he gets the ball in deep, he's very tough to play around here.
Wouldn't stay down, but he's on the free throw line.
Shooting 67%. The reason he's not listed with all the guys up there with, because he doesn't have enough field goal attempts. But once he gets the ball in deep and wheels this way, he's tough to beat. There he is spinning in a lane. He seals off exceptionally well, utilizes his body to protect himself from the defensive player. Connecticut had that loss to Notre Dame. By the way, finally, Mr. Thomas playing like the All-American he's supposed to be. And Notre Dame will be my team of the week on my website tomorrow when I announce my coach of the week. Mike Gray doing a phenomenal job the last 2 games without Francis. And Thomas 31 against Connecticut and 26 against Seton Hall.
There's your difference in the game. UConn 5 of 14 at the line. Wow. And Pittsburgh now perfect, shooting for the 8th time.
This could be the one time that the free throw line has been a difference, as Jim told you and I before the game. It has not affected them in their 4 losses, but it's certainly been effective here.
That was the first miss by Pitt, but out of bounds. Higgins was turned around. He's going to have to ask for help.
He's asking for help. These fans will help him. These fans will help him. I'll tell you, Brown kept that alive. He's a workhorse. These fans in the Oakland Zoo, everywhere you go now, you got the Is Zone, all emulating the Cameron Crazies down at Duke.
Calhoun coming way out on the floor in this timeout, bringing the team over and talking to Armstrong, emphasizing to Hilton what he didn't like underneath, letting that missed rebound be picked off by Pittsburgh, and that's why Jim Calhoun is right in the youngster's face. And reminder now, join ABC for more outstanding regional college basketball action. You'll check the local listings. You'll see Louisville, Cincinnati, some of the others, Florida State, North Carolina, and then, of course, out west, we'll have California against USC. That's all next week on the network. So a learning process for young Armstrong as he stays out on the floor. He's a sophomore, 6'11", a Peekskill, New York. And he's just about one more mistake away from taking a seat next to Coach Calhoun for the rest of the afternoon.
They're playing that tough defense. Troutman's so effective, he can spin in the lane. There he goes. Good block right there.
Armstrong stayed with it. Then it is Krauser. Hand is injured. And there's a foul over here, I believe. Higgins blowing the whistle. Krauser going to what appears to be a hand injury. That's, yes, it is the left-handed. It appears as though he had already, if I saw right, it looked like it is taped up already there, and suffered another whack on the hand as you take a look at this.
Look at Armstrong. Great defense right there. Kept himself on the ground, didn't go with the fake, jammed him right there on that left hand. And he utilizes that left hand a great deal, even though he's a right-handed player. He likes to get free with that dribble, change of direction to the left hand.
48-43. It has been a down and dirty defensive battle here in the Big East.
It's been a little ugly, but it's been tough defense.
Runner not there, and a whistle before Taft's put back. as Brown, who, as Dick told you, is becoming more and more aggressive.
He really has become assertive here in the second half. So far, he's made the big shot, the key shot, that big three with the clock running down.
And here he comes for the stretch. Okafor replaces Armstrong at the 10-minute mark.
He's got 3 fouls. He's still in pretty good shape. He got 10 minutes, got himself a little break. That could be the difference maker. The free throw line, simply as can say. Look at the numbers, they don't lie.
Okafor put it back outside to Brown. And a rebound by Pitt. A collision as Brown jumps out and picks up the personal foul.
That going inside. Okafor should have taken the last one right to the basket. Made that extra pass on the interior.
With the 4th foul, Brown will sit down.
Troutman goes out, and here comes McCarroll, who was the star. Brown really struggling shooting the ball. Within the last 3 weeks, has not played as effectively as he did earlier. They need him to score. He's only total 7 points in his last 2 games. Okafor has had 47 his last 2 games. Teams only shoot about 37% against Connecticut because of the presence of Okafor.
Free throws, a huge difference.
Oh, yes, sir. No doubt about it, Mr. Musburger. The difference maker today has been the free throw line.
Rises up off the iron, and Boone has it knocked away. Ball out of bounds. Pittsburgh.
I'll tell you right there as an example why Jim Calhoun says you must bring your helmet and you must bring your heart when you play against Pittsburgh, because they're going to come right in your face and they're going to come after you in a clean way. Just play hard, tough, physical basketball. Oh, is Mr. Calhoun right? Jim Boeheim told me, he said they're the most physical team he has seen in a number of years.
Krauser had the ball deflected. Now the foul against Okafor, and that is number 4.
Now that's big. Jim Calhoun's got to make a decision with 9 on the clock. You're down 9. You can't mess around too much. I think you almost got to keep him on the floor, Brent. You're down 9. Ooh, I don't know. You see the foul there? Maybe contact with the body?
Yeah, the left hand early, Dick. Certainly against the ball there was no foul. I couldn't tell early if there was contact by a lead hand when Krauser came back down, and now that's the biggest lead of the game.
Take a look right here. With all the contact you see in this game, I don't know how you pull out a foul. With all the contact taking place, he's made the decision to take them out. They're down 10. Can't wait too long. They're down 11, Mr. Musburger. We got 9 minutes on that clock. I think you got to get Okafor back on that floor quickly, especially if they don't score in this possession. This is a big possession for Connecticut. Gordon's got to take charge. Somebody got to lay a screen for him. Trying to get that high screen. McCarroll will step out. Watch McCarroll step out. See him step out?
Awkward off the side of the glass. Forced that shot.
Can't wait. Got to get him in. Got to get Okafor on the floor.
Awful what we're seeing, ladies and gentlemen. The beast of the East is alive in Pittsburgh.
Dave Gabbard formed this league 25 years ago, had vision. Did a tremendous job putting the league together with some mega name coaches. Thompson, Carnesecca. Get it to you, baby. Get it to you. They're rocking and rolling in Pittsburgh. And it's not over the Steelers or the Pirates. It's Pitt Panther basketball. Little simple give and go. Patience on offense. Break the defense down after the fourth pass. Little shuffle cut and a layup. Nobody steps out to take the cut away. Brown goes down the lane, gets the layup. He has become the star of the second half. First half was McCarroll. Your impressions of this club? You saw Stanford, you saw them.
Stanford's offense, obviously, moment of the game.
Yes, sir. Place is so alive. This proves again to people out there, you win when you play on the defensive side. Last year was that 2-3 zone of Syracuse, who shocked everybody. At this time of the year, they just were starting to get ranked and went on to win the national title.
Loose. Pittsburgh basketball, everything going against UConn right now.
They dive on the floor, they scrap, they claw. Page looks like he could be a defensive back.
Well, here's a fellow who's been missing in action here in the second half, Charlie Villanueva.
He's got to get stronger physically. In a game like this, they push him right away. He's got to get in a weight room. Played high school with Luol Deng. They played together. Can you imagine that?
Speaking of Luol Deng, you're not going to like this, but I had an NBA general manager tell me when I was in Los Angeles earlier in the week he'll be a top 3 pick, and he predicts he's going to come out of Duke. I know that you had felt that he would stay there next year, but the NBA scout, the general manager actually, was pretty emphatic about it.
Well, tell him to forget about it. Nice pass. Look at Brown. Created that opportunity. Leave the kids in school. Created that opportunity there. Brown, he's been the star of stars in the second half. And you got to credit that defense. That defense is tough, Brent. It's as physical and as tough as I've seen this year.
On the run. No.
You very rarely get easy opportunities. They have such pride in their defensive game. This man has a lot of pride, I can tell you that. The team that loses this game is the first time all year to have a 2-game losing streak.
So Anderson, with the field goal counting, now will shoot 1 free throw. And that's the first points off the UConn bench here this afternoon.
Anderson, offensively, a very gifted player.
Pittsburgh in control.
He walked. He walked. Good call by Timmy Higgins. He definitely ran to the basket. He'd get away with that in the NBA. And you leave Luol Deng in college.
I have nothing to do with it. I'm just passing along what somebody told me.
Tell him to forget his checkbook and leave him alone. Villanueva's got to get active here. He's a skilled player.
Kick it back now. That's a nice move by Brown into the paint for the field goal.
He can score. There's no question about it. Brown's got scoring ability. Comes out of Canada. He and Anderson can give him point production on the wings. Next 2 minutes really big to Connecticut. They got to go on a spurt. They take time off that clock with each possession. It's not that they're trying to be cautious. That's how they play. That's their normal game.
Taft, and a foul goes against UConn's Talik Brown.
Brown came out of high school along with Omar Cook and Andre Barrett.
Dick, is it true that Jameer came out at the same time and didn't get as much publicity, and that's how he felt to St. Joe's, that he was not as highly publicized?
Well, he's a kid from out of Chester, PA. Loved that area, loves the Philadelphia area. And I think he was really enamored with the fact of playing at St. Joe's. And certainly made a great choice because he's had a phenomenal career under an outstanding coach who's starting now to get the publicity he deserves. And his running mate is excellent, West.
Big miss. That'll knocked out of bounds. It goes back now to Pittsburgh.
And when Talik Brown came out, he came out with Cook and Barrett. They were so highly rated out of New York City. He's had a solid career. Brown just not a scorer, excellent passer.
Troutman in trouble.
3-second call by Timmy Higgins. You don't see that call too often. Higgins certainly outstanding official. So is Shaw. Haney, a young rising star in officiating. They step out of those screens really well and show and take away any lane.
Okafor short. Here comes Krauser, and that could do it. Emeka Okafor was one of the two there reaching in.
I don't think they got it on Okafor, though.
Yeah, Anderson was on the other side.
I think it might be on Anderson reaching in right here. There's Anderson, yes, makes the contact over the arm. Now it gets down to a very simple situation. The formula is very simple. Make free throws, and you go to the locker room with a W. I like this kid. Very underrated. Stepped in to replace a star, and Knight has taken charge as the quarterback of this team. Look at the free throw line. 14 for 16 today.
Big difference right there. And 10 points for Krauser.
That's a major difference. There's no doubt the free throw line has hurt Connecticut today. It's a blue-collar town, man. They love this kind of play. They love these kind of kids who give it all, bring their lunch pail to work, and they just battle and battle. That's what the city of Pittsburgh is all about. It's about pride.
There's a man who knows it full well.
It's very calm up there. He's not calm like that on the sideline. Ben Gordon, I think every time he sees that Pittsburgh jersey, he says, oh no, it's going to be another night, very tough to get shots.
On the free throw line, and it's just tough going every time you try to cruise inside against this Pitt D.
And he's so talented, so explosive. You haven't seen them in their real game like I did against Syracuse when they were outstanding. Connecticut running up and down the floor. He's the one good free throw shooter they have, better than 80%. They have some great young kids coming in next year at Connecticut. They got a kid you're going to love, A.J. Price. You remember his dad. His dad was Tony Price,
sure.
Played at Penn when it went to the Final Four in '79. I drafted him with the Pistons. Tony Price's son, A.J., they tell me super quick and will be a major factor as a diaper dandy. So Rudy Gay, a big-time forward from out of the Maryland area. Nice job of breaking the press.
Taft lost the handle on the turnover. UConn can pick up 2 on him now.
Why not 3? Mr. Gordon says, why not 3? Come right on, challenge him. Krauser playing him right now. Trying to go to 1-4 and get some one-on-one penetration.
But they're getting on the line. Stop the clock at the 5:09 mark, and now. So at the end of the game, Jim said, we try to keep the ball in Gordon's hands because he's one of our better free throw shooters, and you're seeing an example of it here as he tries to dig out from this 10-point hole. Okafor saddled with the fouls. Gordon got to run the backcourt. Here he is.
Trying to spread the court, go to a 1-4 set. They're going to try to give help on him and look to pass if they give help.
Penetrates, coming inside. He's on the free throw line, just what Coach said. That's what he wanted.
He's a big-time offensive player on a collegiate level, Brent. He really is. He can take you one-on-one and break you down. Slide and glide. Here he's a little one-on-one. Spots the opening, the seam, attacks it, protects the ball, and he can make free throws.
And to get this lead inside of 10.
And the key is what you said, he stops the clock.
Absolutely.
Oh, you got to make those, though. You're on a roll. You got to make those.
Last in the Big East.
What a career, Jim Calhoun, though. 8 league titles, 5 tournament championships, 1999 a national title. And today nominated to the Hall of Fame.
Now UConn is on an 8-2 run. It's 60-51. They trap Krauser in the backcourt.
Diagonal. Look the ball diagonal. They want to take time off that clock. Smart. Heady play by Page and Krauser. Page showing that experience, winning experience. Last year the MVP of the Big East tournament. Just taking time off that clock. The clock is there, buddy.
inside of 10. Troutman tries to draw the 5th foul. And it rolls in.
He can score inside. Shoots 67% when he touches the ball inside. That means almost 7 of every 10 times he shoots, they convert and score.
Now they'll spread it out for Gordon. He loses the dribble, goes out after it. Foul called again against Pitt.
These fans are really animated, man. Sitting that courtside. Look at Troutman. He's praying right there. He went to church this morning. That baby went down. Tough physical player. Has a lot of pride defensively. Did a good job on Okafor over in Connecticut. Even though Connecticut won, he held him to 11 points, 7 rebounds. Little one-on-one game Gordon's playing, like he did on the streets down there at Mount Vernon.
Penetrates on the run. No. Rebound, Pittsburgh.
Everybody else standing around, spreading the court for Gordon.
On the move, Krauser hits the layup.
It's going to be tough coming back. The body language tells you all. Look at the body language. They're hanging a little bit. Connecticut. Oh, yes, sirree. The Oakland Zoo is rocking. Pittsburgh going for 40 in a row at home.
Well, a program winning streak in college basketball. Remember, Duke also has won 39 in a row. Pittsburgh has never lost a game on its new floor here at the Peterson Event Center. Gordon steps in, misfires, battle for the rebound, and Connecticut comes away with it.
Connecticut's become one-dimensional now. It's been all Ben Gordon, one-dimensional. It is just one-dimensional.
Pittsburgh. They've got 2:45 to go, and the retaliation will be so sweet. That was the T-shirt they've been selling ever since UConn defeated Pittsburgh, handing them their first loss of the season at Hartford, the Civic Center there. But here today, the Big East rematch, and there's always a chance that they will meet for the 3rd time in the Big East tournament in Madison Square Garden. But there seems little doubt now that the Panthers are going to get the retaliation right here.
It's been Mr. Brown putting the show on in the second half. From out of Kentucky, said yes to Rick Pitino. Then when he left, he decided to go elsewhere.
Now 2 minutes left.
It's amazing. Nebraska beating Kansas. I had Kansas Monday, and they were embarrassed and didn't play hard. I was shocked how poorly they played against Oklahoma State.
66-54 Pitt. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
If a relaxing moment turns into the right moment, will you be ready? Introducing Cialis, the first tablet for erectile dysfunction that gives you up to 36 hours to choose the moment that's right for you and your partner. New Cialis goes to work fast and can work for up to 36 hours. Cialis is not for everyone. If you take nitrates for chest pain or certain alpha blockers for prostate problems or high blood pressure, do not take Cialis. Such combinations could cause a sudden unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. The most common side effects were headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. Erections lasting longer than 4 hours, though rare, require immediate medical help. Discuss your health status with your doctor to ensure Cialis is right for you and you are healthy enough for sexual activity. Ask your doctor if a free sample of prescription Cialis is right for you. 36-hour Cialis. When the moment is right, will you be ready?
Introducing the all-new Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized.
Introducing TGI Friday's new Atkins-approved menu. 9 great-tasting low-carb dishes like creamy Tuscan spinach dip, sizzling strip with blue cheese, and delicious char-grilled salmon fillet. Hurry in for the new Atkins-approved menu, now at TGI Fridays.
One day you wake up and find a few hairs on your pillow. Next day, they're dribbling your head down the court.
Get new V for Men thickening shampoo for up to 50% thicker looking hair for better scalp coverage. New V for Men by L'Oreal Paris.
A troubled kid caught between 2 tough cops.
I don't want you talking to him.
And no one's backing down.
If you do, you'll see a side of me you've never seen before.
Put your hand down. All new Blue, ABC Tuesday.
Well, here it is, retaliation. This is the shirt. They've been waiting for this rematch, Mr. Vitale. And it looks like they're going to get it here this afternoon. As we take a look at our Cialis key moment of the game, the block shot clock running out. The lead was 4 at the time. Brown pulls the trigger on the 3. And now it goes to 7. And the lead has been as big as 15 here. So
that's been the major play. No question. Brown has given them a spark. And I thought who saved them in the first half when Troutman got in foul trouble early was McCarroll. Those 11 points off the bench was a big spark. And it's been their defense. Their defense has been suffocating. Shut down the running game of Connecticut.
And that shot drained by Anderson, the sophomore out of Lakeland, Florida.
He can shoot the 3 now. He can put a lot of points on the board.
Trying to have one last run at him. Commits a personal foul here at the other end.
Free throw line has been all Pittsburgh. Connecticut last in the Big East. Today it's really hurt them big time.
Krauser at the free throw line. Jim Calhoun and I had another talk. And that is who's going to take the tough job at St. John's. And I believe he nominated the man that they should go hire. P.J. Carlissimo, the assistant coach of the San Antonio Spurs, would be a wonderful addition to the city of New York. People like him, respect him. He did a terrific job at Seton Hall before he moved on to the NBA. He could restore some credibility to that program. So one of the first phone calls I would make would be to P.J. Carlissimo, a class guy.
He would be a great choice if he wants to come back to the college level. He knows the New York area, as you see the reverse layup. Another great coach, young guy, would be Bobby Gonzalez. I would endorse from out of Manhattan. Loves the city, eats, sleeps, and drinks the game.
Got a timeout now by Pittsburgh as we check in on the Big East standings. Let's tell you about the Big East now. They do not have 2 divisions this year. It is one league, 14 teams. They'll lop off the bottom 2. St. John's figures certainly to be one of the 2 that will not make it to Madison.
He can get healthy quickly with the right coach.
Absolutely.
PJ would be a great choice, as would Bobby Gonzalez.
No, you put your figure on. I don't know that PJ wants to come back.
Exactly.
In fact, the last time I saw him was I did a San Antonio Spurs game recently, and but he is just such the right kind of guy to run a program like that. The media has always liked PJ, and on top of it, I think he was a better college coach than he was an NBA coach. And some guys are just better suited for one game rather than the other. And I have an awful lot of respect for Carlissimo. So when Jim Calhoun mentioned that name to me today, I said, Coach, you just put your finger on a guy that would be absolutely ideal.
Yeah, he would bring stature to them, no doubt. When the league started years ago, you had all big-name coaches, Arnaseca, Massimino, and Thompson. Awesome. It was incredible what Dave Gavitt did. I got a little bit away from it, but now...
Well, we had 3 teams in the Big East get to that Final 4 down at Kentucky,
85.
which, of course, was won in dramatic fashion by Villanova over Georgetown in
1985. Rolly Massimino pitched that perfect game, a Don Larson special.
Well, Pittsburgh with a little problem at the line that time, and now UConn. Out of bounds, Connecticut ball. Crowd can't believe this call.
Still time on that clock. It's down to 8 right now. Clock stops. Jamie Dixon, there's plenty time left in the game. Rookie coach, first year. Oh, the ball comes over to Pittsburgh.
Dribbling free. Here's the alley-oop.
Smart play.
Bring it back out and bring time off.
Smart play by Troutman. Showing again. Experience. You want to spread the court. Got to make your free throws. Starting to miss some free throws here. Make it a little interesting.
It's the first of our doubleheader, and of course, many of you will see Maryland, North Carolina coming up next.
That's a big-time game right there. Those clubs in the middle of the pack showing you how tough that ACC is. I think you're looking at 7 out of the ACC. The Pac-10, I only see 2 coming out of the Pac-10 this year. Stanford and Arizona. I thought California had to win that game with Stanford, or maybe win the tournament, which you never know in postseason tournaments they have. But right now, it looks like 2 out of that conference. Big Ten certainly has been down this year.
17 for Brown today.
Great job he has done. Just a workmanlike performance. Defensively now he's taking the challenge of playing Gordon.
And Gordon nails the 3-ball.
He's a big-time offensive player.
So it's a 7 with the final minute now, and it'll be on that free throw line. So here comes the youngster who's had a great day off the bench, Mark McCarroll, the junior out of Queens.
Jim Calhoun doing a great job at the end of the game here, keeping his team in the game with the foul situations, making the right calls. So much can happen in the last 2 minutes, but it's orchestrated by the guy on that sideline. Dean Smith was as good as it gets from the sideline late in the game. That helps the coach to relax a little bit. Even though Jamie's not relaxing, he's dancing up that sideline.
So after the brilliant first half, and that's Mark's first points here in the second half. At 11 points at the intermission, and now he nails down 2. And Mr. Vitale, you can start your famous bus up in the back.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're starting to warm up the bus right now, baby. Starting to warm up that bus. These kids in Connecticut aren't going to quit, though. I'll tell you that. There's no quitting them. That's a reflection of their leader. They'll fight you tooth and nail. Did a great job at Northeastern as well. We got what we expected here. A very physical.
Speaking of D, Bobby Jones, Jane Katie, the great coach at Purdue, and Big Red Kerr in Chicago. There's Bernard King. Nobody any better than he. Bill Sharman. Wow. Oh, man, should he be there?
I thought he was in.
Master of the free throw. So did I. I'm very surprised. And, of course, Chet Walker and Dick Vitale on that list of the 16 finalists.
I shake when I see my name listed with all those greats. Absolutely shake to see my name on people that I idolized who were on that. I used to be a groupie. You want to chase some of them around for autographs.
Okafor's off with it now, 71-64 in the final 35 seconds.
I got a feeling these 2 teams are going to hook up again in the Big East.
Absolutely.
In the tournament.
Round 3 will be in New York's Madison Square Garden.
I got a feeling you'll see that again.
Pitt's remaining schedule, remember they've lost only twice, at Hartford to UConn and in double overtime to Seton Hall. They do have to go on the road to West Virginia. That can be a little bit tricky down there. The Syracuse game is here, and they have to go to Providence. So it's not going to be a breeze for Pittsburgh to win their way through the rest of that schedule. That's a couple of tough road trips.
They have a couple of tough games, no doubt about it, but so does the competition for that #1 seed. When you think about Mississippi State and Oklahoma State, you would be so impressed with Eddie Sutton's club. I had a Monday where they really just absolutely destroyed Kansas, and I think Kansas might have felt the effects of that game today against Nebraska. They have been really a disappointing team as of late. I thought Kansas was much better than what they are right now.
You know, one of the things about Krauser that I'm impressed with has been his toughness. You know, the hand has been jammed out there with the tape, injured it, took a little time off, and disgusted and disappointed with himself for not making that free throw and, you know, just nailing the coffin shut right here. But he's been an hombre. They put the ball in his hands. He penetrates with it. Hey, he missed both free throws.
A guide hand. The left hand is your guide hand. That could be bothering him. You don't want to foul here now. You don't want to foul to stop the clock.
So they give Okafor the slam, and now the final 18 seconds, and Pitt will be up shooting free throws now. And UConn's remaining schedule, you can take a look at that. And the one thing that they must have in this remaining schedule of theirs, they must get this fast break going. Now, if you go Miami, Notre Dame, home games, they do go to St. John's, Villanova, and they have one up at Syracuse, be a little bit tricky, Seton Hall. But the toughest games on their schedule look like they're going to be home with. But Dick, they've only had 8 fast break points here today after averaging 17 a game.
Well, that's the bottom line, is they got to get the transition game going. That's their strength. That's when they're really playing at their best. But Jim Calhoun, as I said it earlier, you got to bring your helmet, and you got to bring your heart, and you got to be able to understand that you're going to be in a physical battle against Pittsburgh. This makes it academic right now. You got to give credit to Pittsburgh, not allowing Connecticut to run, baby. Oh, yes. He's a tremendous talent. 40 in a row. Longest win streak at home in America. Paz Duke is at 39. Who has a tough game tonight with North Carolina State at North Carolina State. He's playing exceptionally well. Herb Sendik's kids.
There it is. Yes, they have changed the number. 40 in a row at home, and this will be 34 in a row here at the Peak. Unbeaten in this new building since it opened up last year.
Starting to take a lot of pride, really a lot of pride. All the students are taking pride. It's absolutely a love affair now here with the Pittsburgh team. Jamie Dixon gets the job from an assistant's role. We saw that happen at Western Michigan with Steve Hawkins and Matt Painter at Southern Illinois were doing great jobs. So many times coaches are right there for an AD to see, but they always want to chase that so-called big name when they got a star right in front of them. And I hope that Utah will give it to Kerry Rupp. Carroll's got a nice stroke for a big guy.
Hit a 3 back in the first half.
Yes, sir.
The game was still tight. He put 11 points up in the first half. Last 13 seconds now. Gordon has been a one-man gang trying to bring UConn from behind. Anderson in and out. Okafor battling Troutman. Ball out of bounds.
Bus driver's got the engine turned on, ready to go back to stores and regroup. Pittsburgh fans stand and cheer. It's jubilant. It's ecstatic. It's been this way all day, baby. The Oakland Zoo has been running.
They've done it again. 40 in a row. At the moment, the longest home winning streak in college basketball. Pittsburgh does it 75-68. For Dick Vitale, I'm Brent Musburger with a reminder not to forget the second half of our doubleheader coming up after this from ABC.